Did you know that it's okay to just not be okay sometimes? I think that, especially in the personal development world, we often think that we are above freakouts or meltdowns or overwhelm or whatever, especially when we have the tools and the skills and the resources to be able to cope with that. But guess what? Sometimes life is just going to kick you in the face, and when it does, it gets hard. And even people like me who have all the skills and tools have moments where you're just not okay. A few weeks ago, I had a moment just like that. In fact, I felt overwhelmed and shut down. I had taken on too much. I was on a 60-day sprint with no time off. We just moved into a new house. It was under construction. Everything was dusty and dirty. I was traveling quite a bit. I had to prepare this speech for this competition, and I was under so much pressure. I cracked. I'm human. I had a whole mental breakdown and just made myself sick. Took 3 days off and cuddled in bed, pulled the covers over my head, and felt just horrible. And you know what changed it all? Was me being okay with not being okay. As soon as we can just acknowledge that, you know what, I'm just not okay right now. As soon as we tell a friend, I'm not okay right now. As soon as we just say that, there's relief that happens. It's like the pressure comes off and somebody recognizes that the pot is boiling over and we begin to turn it down. So be okay with not being okay. And if you need a few more tips, I got some for you here today, starting with the first one, which is just breathe. The power of your breath is something that often gets just dismissed. But when we can begin to just breathe with no intention other than to center, to relax, to ground, to recompose ourselves, there is significant value that will happen, and we can begin to shift and turn the tides of the overwhelm, of the emotional breakdown, of the stress, of the anxiety, of the anger and the frustration and the defensiveness and the reactiveness when we just breathe. In fact, there's a chemical reaction that happens as well. When we take a deep breath, we send a signal to the brain that says, I've got this. No need to go into survival. No need to go into fight, flight, and freeze. I'm okay. So just breathe. All right, my next tip, which is know that your emotions are normal and temporary, both good and bad. All right, I don't really like the labels good or bad. I'm not into labels. But seriously, when we label an emotion as good or bad, we often think that like I'm bad for having this emotion. I'm bad for being angry or feeling ashamed or guilty or remorse. No, they're just emotions. We have to recognize that they're serving a purpose, and when they pop up, it's on purpose. And that is telling us that there's something off. There's something out of alignment. There's some part of ourselves that is perceiving or thinking or believing in a threat. We want to begin to look in, to take a breath, and to start to reconnect the dots so you can move forward with grace and confidence. All right, here's my next one, which is allow yourself to be where you're at. Again, sometimes you just have to be okay with not being okay. I gave myself 2 days off. I allowed myself to just stay in bed and binge watch Harry Potter. Why? Because that's what I wanted to do. I allowed myself the grace of having some time off, to taking a breather, to just relaxing. I allowed myself to not try to clean the house and not try to accomplish things or write those emails or respond to those people or take on those clients, which is typically what we'll do. I would fill the void of space, fill the void of nothing with stuff. I allowed myself to just be. And when we can give ourselves permission for that, that's when we can actually move forward. And that kind of leads to my last one, which is move forward when you're ready. Here's the big thing. If it lasts more than 48 hours, or worst case 72 hours, you might need to dial a friend. You might need to call a coach. You might need to go schedule that counseling or therapy appointment. It's not a bad thing, it's just an is thing. So I want to take out the judgment of it. Just recognize that you're not okay, and it's okay to acknowledge you're not okay. But once you get to a point where not being okay is actually a huge hindrance, that is blocking you from making movement, is sinking you into depression, or is knocking you on your feet for a bit too long, that's when we need to call in a pro. And that's when somebody like me can come in and help you get out of your way so you can get on with your life. Hopefully this video has helped in some way. As always, they're brought to you from viewers just like you. Be sure to share this with somebody you love, because I guarantee you that they could use this just as much as you. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly. Did you like this video? I hope so. As always, we have a special treat just for you. If you are ready to start reclaiming the mental and emotional control, if you're ready to start just feeling okay, you need to take action. And in 10 minutes or less a day, you too can feel the relief from an emotional detox. You can get 7 days right now for free by going to the 21dayemotionaldetox.com/free, and no credit card required. We're here for you every step of the way. Till next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly.